Hi, I'm here with Bill Jensen, the managing editor, director of new media.
Director of new media.
Director of new media for the Village Voice, and the man who's going to pull the Village Voice into the future. So, quick background. Give us the framing of the Village Voice as a property, kind of the history of the Village Voice.
Well, the Village Voice were a collection of 15 newspapers as well as 5 national blogs. And the Voice has been around for 41 years, and our papers have grown from that. It's alternative media, alternative newspapers in 15 markets across the country, and it's where you go to find out what to do and how to do it. People have been doing it forever. Now we just got to get them to do it online.
So Village Voice originally, and we were talking about this earlier, had kind of an interesting open media, local. It had all the DNA of things which are now in vogue: classified, local advertising, content relevant to communities,
small ads, classified ads.
So it really had all those pieces as a print publication. Now the trick that you have to do is replicate that online relative to folks who've been doing that stuff online, the Craigslist and the local services and local communities and local papers.
Right, and the key is, the one thing that we didn't have that was going online is that we had, we had to go daily. That was first the biggest challenge in changing the culture. So we would go from a weekly publication to a daily online publication. So now we have each city has about 30 pieces of daily content each day.
Wow.
And that's from next day concert reviews to slideshows to blog posts about current events that are going on in the city. But the key is that every city has to be hyper-local. It has to be about that specific city.
Are the contributors, for the most part, people who work on staff, or are they all just sort of, are you building kind of an open network of contributors for the online property?
It's both. We have freelancers in the same way that we used to have, but we also have the staffers too, and that's been the migration that's been happening right now. We're still doing that quality journalism, and we spend a lot of money on and a lot of time on our listings, which is where to go, what to do in the restaurants and things like that, but also the investigative journalism stuff that we do that we've won the awards for, and that one of the big reasons why we're big in the community. So we're going to continue to do that, but then we add on to it with writers who are, it's a great way to break in. It's also the photography is great with our slideshows. We get a ton of traffic with our slideshows because people want to find out what actually happened last night. That's one of the things that had to change, is that before, writers used to go out and get drunk. They would see a concert. They might write it up a day or two later.
Right.
Now they got to go home and write it up that night.
Right. Which means a lot more spelling errors, but higher relevance.
Yeah.
So so if you think about two sort of comparable, similar, interesting properties, one might be The Onion, which is a national brand, entertaining, but local advertising, very local community involved paper. And then the other side, you have like a Gawker, which has national brands, but divided into categories. So you have Gizmodo, Valleywag, somewhat relevant, somewhat not to geographies or topics. So Gizmodo and Valleywag being Silicon Valley and devices and products and so on, and other properties they have. You guys are basically going to keep local geographic brands that are relevant to the communities, and you see that being an effective approach versus trying to sort of nationalize the Village Voice brand.
Yeah, it has to stay local, because as everything does get global, we have the people in each market that are coming to our site with their wallet in their hands trying to find out, okay, what am I going to do tonight?
Right.
As opposed to Gawker, they could be anywhere. Gawker does great work, but and in that same token, we're going to get a little bit less page views because we're going to spend a lot of time focusing on a specific restaurant that somebody from outside of St. Louis is not going to care about. The people in St. Louis really care about, hey, what's opening in that building? Well, we walked past it, we figured it out, we're telling you.
Right. And then as you guys think about sort of the next few years, it sounds like from an advertising standpoint, the bulk of your revenue is going to come from local vendors, not national campaigns.
Yeah.
And are you developing or changing the online, or how does online ad sales differ from what you guys have been doing and employing for online? And I guess a lot of the folks that you're working with traditionally basically have been doing AdSense and basic Google ads in any online selling.
If any. Yeah.
So you guys are now educating them to a large extent, I guess, is on how to now move to online.
Sure, and you have to educate, the small mom and pop businesses they need to be, and that goes from, I'm not just saying about the store around the corner, but also the clubs or the local bars and the local restaurants. they need, we're helping them figure it out and figure out, okay, this is how many impressions that you need to have, and how much it's going to cost to be run a site, or how much it's going to cost to be specified within a specific plan.
Any last words for the Vader entrepreneurial audience about what you guys are up to?
Just go to villagevoice.com or leweekly.com or anywhere you are, and I guarantee you're going to find something to do.
All right, Ezra, Bill, we're here at Hollywood, Digital Hollywood in Santa Monica, and we're on the beach, and for Vader TV, we're signing off.